Good morning, everybody. I hope you're keeping well. We're continuing to look through our series on the Psalms as we go through this time together, and we're looking at Psalm 20 this morning. And as you look at Psalm 20, it's a short psalm or a shortish psalm, but it's quite a complex psalm. It's a psalm about a time when the people are preparing for war. They're effectively on the eve of battle, and something is about to happen, and they're turning to God in prayer. They're praying, in a sense, for their king. They're addressing their king, and they're asking that God would do things for him. So it is quite a complicated little psalm because there's lots of different ways of speaking in it. First of all, they will speak to you. So whenever the word you is used in the psalm, they're talking about the king. They're talking to the king. Whenever you hear the word he in general, they're talking about God. Whenever they say we, they're talking about themselves, we, God's people. And on one occasion in verse 6, it talks about I, the person who's the witness to all of these things. So I want you to bear those things in mind as we read through the psalm. So this is Psalm 20. May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. May he send you help from the sanctuary and give you support from Zion. May he remember all your offerings and regard with favour your burnt sacrifices. May he grant you your heart's desire and fulfill all your plans. May we shout for joy over your salvation, and in the name of our God set up our banners. May the Lord fulfill all your petitions. Now I know that the Lord saves his anointed. He will answer him from his holy heaven with the saving might of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They collapse and fall, but we rise and stand upright. O Lord, save the King. May he answer us when we call. Did you see all those personal pronouns in there? Those yous, we's, he's, I's. It's an important understanding about the psalm because we've got to get to grips with what's going on. They're praying on the eve of battle that God will hear the prayers of his king, that God will respond to the petitions and the sacrifices that the king has made, that God at least will have such a relationship with his anointed king that those sacrifices of worship, that those prayers will be enough to save the people in the day of trouble. And when we look at this psalm through a New Testament lens, we can identify the characters within it as well. So whenever we talk about you in this psalm, we're talking about God's anointed King, Messiah, Christ. And we can split this psalm into a couple of parts as we think about the life of Christ. Verses 1 to 5, a prayer on the eve of battle. Well, that's a prayer before the cross. As Jesus approaches the cross, approaches the battle for which he came into the world. So we pray this prayer, that the name of the God of Jacob would protect you, that he would send help from the sanctuary, give support from Zion, remember all your offerings, regard with favour your burnt sacrifices. Remember Jesus' obedience, remember Jesus' total loyalty and total love for his Father. May he grant you your heart's desire and fulfill all your plans. May we shout for joy over your salvation. May we see that God is answering his anointed King. And then in verse 6, a witness after the cross, after the resurrection. Now I know that the Lord saves his anointed. He will answer him from his holy heaven with the saving might of his right hand. Here is a witness to the resurrection, looking back on the events of the cross and all that's gone before it, and saying, now I know that God answers his anointed king. I've seen it happen. And so as a result, I will no longer trust in all the things the world says I should put my trust in. I'll no longer trust in wealth or power or fame or success or any of those things. I will no longer put my trust in chariots or in horses, as the psalm puts it, but trust in the name of the Lord our God. He has won the victory for us in Jesus. And everyone who stands against him, against God's anointed king, will collapse and fall, while those whose trust is in Jesus will stand, will continue to stand. And so this psalm, in a very short space of verses, reminds us that we pray to the one who has conquered, that we can look to him, that God's King, God's anointed King, Jesus, will answer our calls when we come to him. And we can trust him because he has conquered death and hell forever. So look to him today. Turn your eyes to him. On the Facebook page, immediately after I put this video up, I'm going to share a video of a song, Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus. And it sums up what we're thinking about in this psalm, so I hope you enjoy it. Look to him. Turn your eyes to him. Put your trust in him. He will not fail. He has won the victory. God bless.